Good morning, Jake. It's Monday. Today I was thinking about something that strikes very close to home. I can't say it's the first time I have ever thought of this. Today my thoughts are focused on poverty and homelessness. I have been thinking about the people who have to sleep outside, rain or shine, and I have been thinking about the people who go hungry each day simply because they have no source of income. Now this isn't a jab at the homeless and poverty-stricken to get jobs, because to me it seems that most of the homeless have mental illnesses and are unable to work, and are thus forced to sleep on the streets. Now there are programs to help these people, but for some they may be impossible to reach, due to transportation issues, and for some there are just simply not programs offered where they are at. When I initially became homeless, I was one of those people who had no programs around my area. The nearest one was a 30-minute drive away. The first night out being homeless, I slept in a park. After some difficulties, I managed to get a bus ticket to St. Paul, Minnesota. When I got there, I immediately started to search for a shelter, which I heard great things about. When I got to the shelter, I was frightened by the number of people. I thought to myself, what if they don't have a bed for me? Thankfully, the gods are watching out for me, and a man who frequents this place offered to take me up under his wing. Now, my story is not all that bad compared to most. I only slept outside one night. I do, however, have a sad story to tell. When my bus stopped to pick up people from Little Falls, going to Minneapolis, a woman boarded with nothing but her child and the clothes they were wearing. I would like to be able to say that I struck up a conversation with this woman so that I could hear her story, but being the shy person I am, I was much too afraid. Although I did happen to overhear a conversation she was having with the gentleman next to her. I don't like to say that I eavesdropped, because I don't want to be considered a nosy person, but I digress. It began like this. She lost her job due to layoffs at her place of work, and because of the fact she had only been working for 4 months, she could not get unemployment benefits. She told the story of how she coasted on her savings, and how she sold everything she owned to buy food and keep a roof over her daughter's head. But in the end, she could not find work. So she was using the last of her money to get to Minneapolis, so she could get into a homeless shelter with her daughter. Now, I don't know this to be a true and accurate story, but I myself am inclined to believe it. The look of hopelessness and despair is a look that only someone who has experienced what she said she did could have. What I am trying to get at here is the fact that there are so many homeless and poverty-stricken families. Many are this way through no fault of their own. Much like I said earlier, many are struck down with mental illnesses and injuries that make them unable to work. The average waiting time for an individual to get Social Security is upwards of 2 years. That's a long time to be hungry and homeless. I would like to say that there are great programs in place to help people like this, and in some cases there are. There are things like food stamps and cash assistance for those who have little to no money, but that's simply not enough. What I would like for anyone who sees this video and likes what I have to say to give back to your community somehow. Be it by donating clothes to a homeless shelter, buying food for someone who can't afford it, and in some cases for inviting them in for coffee. I once read a story of an elderly woman who would walk the streets during the day and go to the typical homeless person's hangout. She would ask 1 or 2 of them if they would like some coffee. Many obliged and said yes. She would then bring them to her home and serve them coffee and donuts. So if she was willing to do it, I am sure there are many more out there willing to do the same. Currently, the way that I am going to be giving back to the homeless and poverty-stricken will be handing out cigarettes and food. See, what my ultimate goal is to give to these poor souls something to smile about. A single cigarette, donut, or coffee could bring joy to a person who has so little. Remember, it's the little things that count. And as always, I look forward to speaking to you guys in the future. Thanks for watching.